Hey, everybody. It is August 9th, 2026, and you're listening to the While We Still Can podcast. This is Tina. I'm here with Tony today, and we're just going to kind of go over some of the fuckery that happened over the past couple days because. Bum, bum, bum. I don't even know why I held out, Tony. I kind of felt like Blanche wasn't going to get it, but of course he did
Well,
because they're all pussies.
it doesn't matter the circumstances over the last 10 years. Uh, the elected Republican Party continues to fail us. They by always uh, kneeling to Trump. Period. There's just no question about it. They've had, if you go back to the first impeachment, had they done what they should have, all of this would have never happened. But every time they've had the opportunity to do the right thing for America, they default to Trump. And now we've got literally Trump's personal lawyer, who was also in the Epstein files, as the Attorney General of the United States. Um, where's that going to lead us? I mean, the levers.
Well, well, it makes sense. Like, we obviously knew that he was in the Epstein files by the way that he was fighting. Like, there had to be some straight. It couldn't have just been his buddies in there. And, it is coming forward that, yes, in like 20, was it 2019? I feel like I
Yeah, that
even
was
saw
in
a
July
paper.
2019. I saw, and that was right before Epstein's death.
So they're still hiding it even years later. They're lying to you. The Todd Blanche not only is he kind of looks like Marco. He kind of gives me Marco vibes, but his dad was the leader of some cult. Like, and that is how he was raised. And we always talk about these secret societies and all of these Manchurian candidates running around. Well, this is what they do. They groom these people from when they're children in these cults. And then when they need them to do some shady shit, they place them in these positions of power, which is what we're seeing. But, as for as much as the Republicans said that Joe Biden was the president, getting revenge, Donald Trump hired his own fucking lawyer.
Well, no, I mean everything they're talking about is projection. It's even beyond projection. I mean, you know, it's almost a not only do as I say, not as I do, but I'm also going to do the opposite of that, if that makes any sense. It's
Yeah.
and it's just insane. And you look at a number of other things, whether it be even Mike Johnson. I think was it Mike Johnson or who was the former Attorney General before Blanche?
It was
Bundy.
Bondi.
Okay. Well, I just remember, and it may have been Mike Johnson said something about they were putting in levers in place, or maybe even Patel, who we know is going to Moscow in October for an
Yeah,
October
we do need to talk
surprise.
about that. But no Russia. But there was no Russia collusion, okay, Tony?
And I mean, I've more than proven it beyond a reasonable doubt, and I continue to share stuff that I've done over the 10 years. But anyway, they were talking about putting instruments in place that will protect Trump in the future, regardless. Regardless of what happens, they're creating levers within the government that are going to make it much more difficult for us to hold Trump accountable. And the most obvious thing is, obviously IRS immunity. It has always been since the beginning, don't look into Trump's finances. I mean, Mueller, the Senate Intelligence Committee, they were all ordered not to look into his finances. They could look into everything else, but they couldn't look into his finances. And here to this day, now they're trying to even give the president a normal American citizen that's no better than you, me, or anybody else. In fact, he's subhuman as far as I'm concerned. And they're going to grant him IRS immunity and his family so nobody can look into their finances. There's nobody on earth that earns or deserves that. Period. Period.
I mean, so if you are hiding something and you will do all of these things to hide these things,
Hmm.
then that is a sign, that is an admission of guilt to me.
Well,
But,
go ahead.
um, but this is what he has done his whole life.
Yes.
And if there is no accountability, then why would you ever stop? But also, we have these flock cameras. Like, you can't even fucking walk to the bathroom without a flock camera being like, "Are you sure?" Are you sure you went? You sure you got to pee? I'm going to watch you in there too. But the president of the United States can keep all these documents that every other president or elected official has had to show before. Like, it's crazy.
Well, and I was looking at a couple things earlier today, and one thing I came across when I was looking at old screenshots and screen recordings was an article just talking about how Trump had pled the fifth 440 times in his deposition for the civil lawsuit uh, that he was found guilty of fraud for. The one thing that he was found guilty of, 34 indictments, he had pled 440 times about and chose not to defend himself on the stand. And, the ridiculousness of Fauci pleading, the fifth, and what they're making of that and everybody else, people just don't put the simplest of facts together about the fact that Trump was indicted for his finances. He pled the fifth 440 times, and even just this week, 300 of his Capital One bank accounts were closed because of money laundering. And this is a sitting president right now. And then his regime wants to give him immunity against it all. I mean, the ridiculousness of this is we're so far beyond a dictatorship, a kingship. It's something even beyond that. And then all the people that are, supporting and aiding and abetting him. You've got the Peter Thiels of the world and everything going on behind the scenes there. I was looking into that a little bit. He had actually donated to a foundation that had something to do with autonomous cities on the sea outside of, and that I just found out.
Um,
Yes, I just found that out today, and that ties into all the other stuff we've talked about. And these what is it, techno autocracy or techno capitalism? What they're talking
t-
about,
technocracy, and
where they want to eliminate.
technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and you have to understand the libertarian view and all this other stuff, where they're trying to basically allow oligarchs to take control through flock cameras, through our data, through everything else, and control us in a way that we will feed their system, and they will feed us literally by mining our data and controlling our lives.
Like the most intense individualized MK Ultra possible to you
Exactly. Yep.
to get what they want, because we know that if we are only fed certain information, we can only come to certain conclusions, which is how they have done most of this and propagandize us. Old Soviet tactics, right?
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of time today. I know you've got something going on, and you got to get ready for work. But the one thing I want to make clear is I will continue to call for a non-violent solution to this. I truly believe that if we stand to the tune of millions, which there are plenty of millions of United States citizens that are fed up with this, but we are stuck in what we're talking about, that technocracy, in a way that we're so caught up with our debt, our lives, social media, and everything else that people can't really see what needs to happen, which is
Well,
us. Yes,
they're
mostly.
hijacking our attention, is
Yes.
what it is.
But if we stood to the tune of millions, we can expect, I have zero doubt, and I'm just going to be forthcoming about this, that the only violence that will come will be from the regime in an attempt to
Yep.
squash that rising. But when that happens, I truly believe millions more will rise with us. And,
Yes.
and it's unfortunate that that's the route we have to go, but it is the most peaceful way we can do it, is by standing together. It's we the people, for the people, by the people.
Mhm.
And we do that, and we will become the beacon of the world again, showing that we, the American people, have had enough. Right now, we're the exact opposite. There's barely a flicker to our beacon right now.
Well, we're not being an example to other countries, and we're why well, and again, the more we learn about our history, the more I'm like, oh shit, well, but I don't want that reputation on my soul anymore. Like, and I'm sick of spending, like, I don't care honestly about money, that like nothing I do is really for money. I know I need it, and I like to have things I need and give my kids the things I need, but like money comes and goes.
Well,
But like this, I don't know.
Well, the one thing I'd like to point out, I saw somebody mention this online earlier, is, um, when it comes to faith, and, they've weaponized faith, Muslims, Christians, all this stuff.
Yeah, they're always finding a boogeyman.
It's not about faith. The world we live in should be about behavior. And when you look at, for example, what the mayor of New York City, whose name I don't need to say because even his name has been weaponized in a way that when you say his name, you automatically fall into a category they want people to believe you're in. But he is actually living the way Christ tells Christians to live. Okay? And the only people
Yep.
that are coming after him are the people that are threatened by him, which are the rich people and the people that want to keep us suppressed. So it's not about faith, religion, or anything else. It's about what we do for society, what we do for people. And when we have positions of power, are we giving to the people or are we giving to those in control?
Right, right. And it's crazy because they use, just like with Obama, with Mandami, they use his name,
Mhm.
like his
Same thing with
his
that old
Muslim.
Syed guy that's broke
Yes,
right now. Yep.
yes,
And
yes.
Tim Byron's was called out about that on a news station this morning. They're like, why do you insist on having to say his name? And it's of course because they want to capture that racial
It's a dog whistle.
bias. Yes, it's a dog whistle. Yes.
Yeah. But if you notice, there are several other senators and congresspeople that have different names
Mhm.
than what they say because of the ethnicity.
Yep.
Okay.
And
So
it's funny.
yeah, Ted Raphael Cruz is
Yes.
one of those. What is Ted's first real name? I can't remember.
Raphael. Yeah, Raphael is his first name.
Uh, but and then we have Nikki Haley. That one's my
Yeah.
personal
Oh,
fave.
Nimrata, something or other. Yeah. I mean, all of them did it, and they've whitewashed, literally whitewashed themselves, so they can fit into this elite group of people that are suppressing the world. It's that simple. I mean, and I'm sorry, guess who else whitewashed their names? Benjamin Netanyahu. He Jew washed.
Yes, he did.
He
Yes, he did.
Zion washed his name because his name is actually Polish. Uh, so that it's the most simple, basic information that people should start paying attention to, rather than chaos that they're creating to distract us, so we won't pay attention to the basic, simple information.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect segue into Lisa's not here right now. She is busy with some stuff, but we are working on a big project right now.
Hmm.
In between all the other big projects because we're glutton for punishment. But we have noticed that we have all of this information that needs to be disseminated, and people in high media places, not all of them, but a lot of them, we feel like they're not covering what we are, like we're hand delivering some info, and we're like, here's the receipts, and they got their stuff going on, so that's fine. But to disseminate this information, we are building our channel, we're building our social media and everything, but it's never fast enough, especially if you're talking the truth, okay? So we're working on hopefully building some sort of network where we can disseminate that and create. We're finding out, again, we're trying to live by our own suggestions here, and creating what we need instead of looking to these people that are already in power to create what we need for us,
Well, and
because we know what we need.
people continue to say it's going to be independent media that actually helps save us, because our mainstream media and a lot of the what would be considered some of the, whether you know left or even right-leaning media, is still not doing the work and sharing the true receipts and the information that America needs to see. And hopefully this network that we create, we can truly build something that starts to be seen.
Right, right. Factual information that we feel is pertinent for you guys to know, to put the puzzle pieces together, because I truly feel if people have accurate information and a safe place to talk about it and figure it out, that is where change is made. But if everything you read is a lie or a disconjointed, and again, we're figuring shit out too, so we will be the first to be like, and we were wrong. But that's also what we do not see in the media. So, keeping each other accountable, with information that is and full transparency. That is also what we're going for. Transparency, because democracy dies in the darkness.
Yep. So I have to go. I know you have to go. So it's.
All right. Well, that was a short one. We'll be back this week again with some more fuckery, shittery, and hopefully some updates on our project. Have a good afternoon, Tony.
You too. Bye, everyone.
Bye.